Hi, Professor. There is 158335 Assignment 1, and my name is Wang Shuo. My student ID is 220000164. This assignment is a system to monitor environmental conditions using Raspberry Pi, Sense Head emulator, and the web application and the Flask server. So I will first tell you the architecture. First is the hardware layer. I utilize Raspberry Pi and to collect the data on environmental conditions, which are the temperature and humidity. And then is the data processing layer, writing Python scripts to control the sense header emulator, read the data from the sensors, and send the data to a back-end server for processing. Then is the front-end interface layer, and HTML, CSS, and JavaScript are used to build the web interface, which is used to display the temperature and humidity in real time and to get the data from back-end server through the AJAX interface. Yeah, and finally is the back-end server layer. And using the Flask web framework is the server to collect data from Raspberry Pi sensors and process it. And then let me tell you the process. And the sense head emulator continuously collect the temperature and humidity from a sense, and the Raspberry Pi running the server software is the Flask periodically requests the temperature and humidity data from the sense head emulator. When the server receives request for temperature or humidity data, it fetches the corresponding data from the sense header emulator, and then the server Flask sends the fetched data back to the web interface as responses to HTTP requests. The web interface updates is displayed with the reserved temperature and humidity data, allowing users to review real-time environmental conditions. So it's the connection between the SenseHead Raspberry Pi server and web interface. And the code will show you again. And it's the setup. A setup, you need to install the SenseHead emulator and Flask. We will use this Raspberry Pi Linux system command to install the emulator and use the pipe install to install the Flask. Okay, and let me show you the code. The first is the Python. This way is to import some Flask framework and some other necessary modules, Sense emulator and the OS module of the Python. And here is to initialize Flask and Sense head emulator. And here is to define the root name temperature using the add-app root decorator in Flask. And here is to fetch the temperature from the header emulator. And here is the list warnings. Is a variable to store any temperature warnings. And here is the if conditions. If the temperature is not in this area, a value error exception is raised. And here is temperature. If temperature greater than 40 degrees, warnings are added to the warning list, and the warnings are also displayed on the Sensehead emulator here, and the color is red. And here is to return the temperature and warnings as a joint response. And here, if there is an error message, and the status code will be 500. And here is the same as the temperature. And here is the root humidity. And here is a variable and some if conditions, and it is error. And if greater than 19, and there will be warning. And it's the same. And here, let me see, is to define the root road which serves an HTML document. This is how the HTML to connect to the person, connect to the Synthetic emulator and Raspberry Pi. And the instance the file named HTML emu data HTML from the current work that directory. And here is to run the Flask application. And the port is 5000. This is the person, and here is the HTML file. And here is the foundation for the HTML file title. And here is the function. The function is to fetch the temperature data from the Flex server. Here is to make a request to the temperature endpoint, and it's corresponding to there. And it parse the JSON response, and it invokes the function named update temperature display. And here, if there is use the point catch, if there log and display error, if fetching temperature data fails, and it will show the error loading data, and there is clear the any warnings. And there is the function update enter temperature display. Here is to fetch elements by their ID. Here is ID to display the temperature and warning. And here is update the content of the temperature to display on the website. Here is clear the warnings, and here if there are any warnings in the data, and display them, and to strong, and the color set red. And here is the same to the temperature. The same is similar to fetch temperature data, and here is same to update temperature display. Is similar. And here this function is when the let me see, is a function when the window has fully loaded. And here's to invoke the to function. And here is fetch data every 5 seconds with this function. And the JavaScript part is over, and here is HTML. It's the body part to show the temperature, to show the real temperature data. And here's the warning, the humidity data, and the warning, and the humidity warning. Okay, then let me show you how to run the code. Click here. Sorry, click here. and the emulator will be opened. Then we should open the web page. Okay, here it shows the current temperature and current humidity is 25 and 45, and then we change the temperature. And if it's greater than 14 degrees, it will be shows the warning on the sense emulator, and after 5 seconds, it will show high temperature. Okay, and if we increase the degree to over 100 degrees, then it will show error loading data. Okay, and here's the temperature, and let me show you the humidity. Humidity, if we over greater than 19 degrees, and there is warnings high humidity. And okay, and here is the high humidity on the web page. Here is on the sense heat emulator. And if we okay, and humidity is just in this area. And the temperature and humidity will be changed every 5 seconds. And we can show and we can look the status code. And here, if there is error loading code, and there is the status code will be changed to 500, and there is all the normal status. Okay, and here is the assignment 1, and thank you for your watching.